All glories to Amrita and Dhanvantari, the supreme divine healers. Now part 4. I'll try to get the picture in the right direction. I don't know what YouTube is doing. Part 3 of Do Viruses Exist? About Corona, the Deep State, Dr. Hama, New Medicine, etc. A free translation of an article by Mr. Pillhar from Austria. So thank you for tuning in again. It will be very interesting again. So there are 5 natural biological laws according to Dr. Hama, which he observed, which are proven time and again. And the 4th biological law of nature is that microbes work as chirurgs. I don't know how you say, those who work with the scalpel and etc. in nature, and always work only in the healing phase. So they are not the causes of disease, but they are the helpers in the healing. And they are cleaning up those tissues, or even dissolving tissues that were built up in the conflict active phase, which were necessary. So they are like tumor kind of tissues that were built in the conflict active phase of healing. And then there is the tuberculose, reptile brain caused, or how to say, it's directed by the reptile brain. So what happens in this phase is that there are these tissues will be dissolved again, extra tissues, or holes that were happening in the conflict active phase. Yes, someone has a very nice sound there. So these holes, they will be filled up again with swelling, and so that is done by the newer part of the brain. I'm not sure what's the English translation here. So previously, Dr. Hama was thinking that the virus would be responsible for the cleaning or dissolving of the plate epithel. I'm not sure what's the English translation. And the classic medicine still could not prove the existence of any virus until today. They claim, but you can please try to provide the proof or search for the proof. You will not find it. So based, as we discussed in part 1 and 2, on the lies of Pasteur, who regretted it on his deathbed, which was in his Wikipedia page until the 19th of April of this year, and then was deleted in several languages, and you can find info on that, which we discussed already. We know nowadays that inside our bodies there are billions of microbes, and they can be up to 1.5 kilos of biomass without us being sick. So these are called sometimes inactive or non-pathogen, non-toxic, but they have also positive functions, some of them, and others they are just inactive, waiting to be activated by the body system when they are needed. And there have been animal studies where it was found that animals that live in absolute sterility, they get deformations and become unable to live, which is of course completely reasonable. It makes complete sense. So to come out from all these misunderstandings and crookedness, these contradictions actually that arose based on that wrong theory, then those people, they invented the idea of the immune system. Because if we had so many microbes in us, it would mean that we would have necessarily need to have a very powerful immune system to keep all these bad organisms, microbes, etc. under control, which would be deficient in the sick people, elderly people, etc. And then this false assumption led to the next lie, and that would be that vaccines would be necessary. So the idea of the vaccine was, by the artificial injection of inactive microbes, one would instigate the immune system to produce antibodies against these evil microbes, and then when there will be a big attack of a huge amount of these bad bacteria, etc., then the body would already know and already have those antibodies and would already know how to react and be immunized, which of course doesn't make any sense, because even then it is very unlikely to get huge amounts of these imaginary viruses into your body, and that's a whole different subject matter. So it's one lie, and then it leads to another lie. First lie is the virus, the second lie is the immune system, and the third lie is the vaccine. So if you take out the first lie, then the second and the third lie and the fourth lie and the fifth lie, it will all crumble down like dust. So it's all how to say, nonsense, hoch zwei, how you say, potentialized, potency, exponential nonsense. Okay, it is the body that, when a conflict, which is the actual cause for the blockage of the energies in the body, if that conflict is solved, then the previously inactive microbes will be activated for the healing phase. Okay, that brings us to the whole another subject matter. There are only three attitudes that we can have. We either try to exploit an energy, or if we are frustrated, we try to avoid the energy, or the third is we become a channel for all energies and use them for the root of existence, the owner of the energy, which is the source of everything, the divine consciousness, the great spirit, or God. That is the only thing which is actually leading to true health. If we are in harmony with all energies, not trying to exploit them, own them, control them, neither trying to avoid them and reject them, but become a clear channel to use all energies that we are given for the service to give the water to the root of our existence and thus benefit all others. So that is the basic understanding of health. So the body, or nature, or God in us, will not at the same time create a so-called immune system that would hinder those workers, those microbes, in their work. So that brings us to the conclusion that the so-called immune system, as we are being told, does not exist. So the so-called immunization therapies are wrong by definition as well, be it by vaccination or any other method. So the main thing is, if we want to know what real health is, means what I said before about the energies, to unblock the energies, to unblock our conflicts, to surrender to divine arrangement, Tatenu Kampam Susamikshamanu, that verse. I have some video on that subject matter as well. To come into harmony. Harmony is health, is peace. And if you want to know more about that, get coaching on that, get seminars on that, get meditations for that, you can look on my channel, contact me, etc. So, let's get further. So even the best of nutrition, food, etc. will not protect one from these conflicts, which are biological enactions of the conflict, okay? So we have some conflict on some more subtle level, which blocks the energy, and then it will manifest in the body so that we can solve this conflict, which is ultimately a conflict that the individual soul has with the super soul. That is the deeper understanding that we should understand as well. So, in other words, healthy food does not protect one from losing one's partner, having a quarrel with the boss, or any other conflict, fear, etc. And if we were to imprison animals or put them in a completely unnatural environment, like in the mass breeding, factory farming, etc., then these animals get sick because they are in a conflict, both the living conditions as well as the mental health and of course the toxins, etc. These are all leading to conflicts and sickness. And in the next part, I think we have to do one more video, part 4, we will talk a little bit about Wuhan, technology, etc. So thank you very much for tuning in again on this very interesting subject matter. If you have any questions, comments, you're welcome. Please also check the description of the video. If you understand the subject and its importance, please share the video for the benefit of all, and also click the likes, etc. May the OM love be with you. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.